There have been great fighters who have looked unstoppable in the UFC, where certain circumstances occurred where they haven't been able to show their full potential. So here is 5 fighters who wasted their potential. Number 5. Johny Hendricks is the former UFC welterweight champion who was once a fierce knockout artist where he was just flattening fighters with a single strike. When USADA was implemented, all of a sudden, he was unable to make the welterweight limit where he just had terrible performances which forced him to move up to the middleweight division, where after a victory over Hector Lombard at UFC Final 105, it finally looked like Johny Hendricks was getting back to his normal self. However, in his next fight against Tim Boetsch at UFC Final 112, he came overweight and was finished by TKO in the second round. If Johny Hendricks was able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, he would definitely have great performances. Number 4. Cain Velasquez is a former 2-time UFC heavyweight champion who is a force of destruction when he is injury-free. His career has suffered a lot due to injuries, which has prevented him from showing his true potential. He has unfortunately pulled out of many fights and has been sidelined for a very long time, where the heavyweight division has just progressed without him. A healthy Cain Velasquez is one of the most scariest fighters in the UFC, and hopefully we are able to see him make a comeback soon. Number 3. Khabib Nurmagomedov is one of the elite lightweights in the UFC who has made great fighters look ordinary with his sambo skills. He could have easily become the UFC lightweight champion if it wasn't for his health and weight issues. He has pulled out of numerous key fights which would have elevated him due to injuries. He most recently pulled out of his interim title fight against Tony Ferguson at UFC 209 due to falling ill whilst cutting weight. Hopefully he is able to sort himself out and come back better than ever. Number 2. Ronda Rousey is the former UFC Women's Bantamweight champion who was once one of the most dominant female fighters on the planet. It would only take her a few minutes to quickly dispatch her opponents. With these kind of performances, it was very difficult to see her lose. However, she would lose the title to Holly Holm at UFC 193 and lose a comeback fight to Amanda Nunes at UFC 207. As of right now, she has completely disappeared from the MMA world. Her mother had advised her many times to move out of Glendale Fight Club, and even Floyd Mayweather offered to coach her, but she decided to stick with Edmond Tarverdyan, which led to her downfall. If she was able to train with other camps, we may have seen her reach a new level. Hopefully she is able to make a comeback in the future better than ever. Number 1. Jon Jones is the former UFC light heavyweight champion who many had considered him to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Whilst as the champion, he outclassed majority of his opponents where he just looked unbeatable. Unfortunately, certain circumstances occurred in and outside the octagon which massively impacted his career. He was arrested many times and had his title stripped from him on 3 different occasions. His most recent win over Daniel Cormier at UFC 214 was overturned to a no contest due to testing positive for steroids and will most likely be suspended for 4 years. His potential was on a whole new level where we may never see what he was fully capable of.